What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, hit that like button. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened on day 2 of the BB23 live feeds, and oh boy, a lot has happened already. We had a competition. We had alliances forming. We had big alliances forming that are already blowing up in people's faces. We're going to be breaking it all down right here. This is your last little spoiler warning. But again, if you didn't really want spoilers for the live feeds, you probably wouldn't have clicked on this video. So let's jump on into it. Here is kind of my status chart, alliance chart. It's really a work in progress at this point since everything is so new. But this is what we have established for sure inside the house. We have the teams, the jokers, the aces, the kings, the queens. Frenchie is your HOH. Now, let's talk about the competition, the wildcard competition, because this really helps set up a lot of what moves on going forward. Frenchie, going into this, really wanted to target one of the bigger guys in the house, whether it was Christian, Travis, Brent. He wanted to get one of those big targets out. But with this wildcard competition, we didn't really know what was going to happen. And we still don't really know exactly what the competition it was itself, but we do know who played and we know who won. How it worked was the 3 other teams, the aces, the kings, and the queens, were able to choose one player to compete in this wildcard competition. And that player, if they won, would get immunity. Not the whole team. So the 3 people that competed, it was Hannah from the aces, it was Christian from the kings, and Kyland from the queens. Christian went on to win this competition, and really it was huge for him because he was a big possible target for Frenchie, the HOH, and Christian really is rising up those ranks more and more of becoming a really big threat in this game. He did really good in the captain competition, probably the smartest way of finishing it, taking all the panels out, putting them on the floor. He almost won the HOH competition if it wasn't for his puzzle falling at the last second before he hit the button. He'd be the HOH this week, and then he wins the wildcard competition. So he is crushing it so far, and be on the lookout for Christian to be a big threat moving forward in this game. Now, he's taken out of the pool of possible nominees, and Frenchie kind of honed in on Brent being his target. But then he had a meeting one-on-one with Brent up in the HOH room, and he really kind of decided, you know what? I think I feel comfortable with Brent. I think I trust him. He kind of talked to me man to man, and I think he's somebody I can work with moving forward. Then it was like, all right, well, maybe Travis and Derek X, because the 2 of them kind of formed a bit of a bond, a pretty good relationship, especially on day 1. A lot of people noticed the 2 of them were hanging out. And it looked like it might have been Derek X as being the one who was like, yeah, let's get him out. He's the target. So Frenchie decides he's going to start forming his big alliance. We talked about the slaughterhouse yesterday's video, and he has gone on to kind of form that, but he's also forming it with almost everyone at this point. People who know about the slaughterhouse: Whitney, Derek F, Azah, Xavier, Tiffany. We also have Britini involved in that. I think Hannah is involved in that. Sarah is involved in it. At this point, almost the whole house, except for Derek X, and even Claire knows about it. So pretty much it was Derek X and Travis. They're like the only ones who don't know about this big alliance right now. And even then, they know about it. They're just not involved in it. Then we also had him form the butchers, right? Now, the problem is he formed the butchers with the guys, ready? His idea for the butchers was him, Derek F, Xavier, Kyland, Christian, those 5, right? But he's already told people like Whitney earlier in the day that he was going to form the butchers. What are you doing? What are you doing, Frenchie? Frenchie, what are you doing? So that's why I haven't even bothered to kind of list who's in the slaughterhouse, who's in the butchers, Because you know what these really are? You could call the Slaughterhouse and the Butchers the Bomb Squad and the Detonators. That's what you really could call it. This is Devin from BB16. Pretty much, Frenchie has decided to give his game plan, right? Kind of create his game plan after some of the greats of Big Brother's past, right? Devin, Ronnie, Josiah, right? He is really just kind of blowing up here in week 1. And for someone who is so much of a fan, right? He's involved in BB Twitter. You would think he would know, hey, don't play so hard in week 1. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And he is not doing well with this. I think the pressure and the power is maybe going to his head a little bit. So we'll see how he's able to deal with this with nominations that should come today. I believe he probably will end up nominating Derek X. But again, how we got there is a bit of a thing. So after his kind of one-on-ones, later in the night, Frenchie invited a big group up to the HOH room. It was a lot of the girls, some of the guys were mixed in there too, and he pretty much laid out like, yeah, we're going to be getting Derek X, he's my target, blah, blah, blah. Later, though, a bunch of the girls are sitting around the hammock with Xavier, and Frenchie comes up to this group and he says, listen, I need a pawn. Who's going to be a pawn for me? It's like, dude, chill out. Like, you don't even need a pawn. Just put up whoever you want to put up. It's week 1. Relax. And do you really think anybody's actually going to go, yeah, hey, Frenchie, put me up. I'll be your pawn. No. Like, what are you thinking, dude? Like, what are you thinking? I really don't know what's going through Frenchie's head right now. He then later has another group up in the HOH room, and he flat out says, listen, everybody, I'm just genuinely curious. Who here has been approached for an alliance? It's like, dude, do you really think they're going to answer that? Oh, yeah, you know what? I have a final 2 deal. Oh, I'm in a 4-person alliance. I'm in this alliance. You have to relax. He is really playing this way too hard. He's trying too hard to make big alliances when really you should just be focusing on making strong connections early in the game. The alliances will come. And he's just really kind of freaking out. He's got a big case of HOHitis already in week 1. And at this point, I could see Frenchie going home either next week or week 3. He doesn't seem like he's going to be long for this game. Now, we do have some actual legitimate alliances that formed, like the Cookout and the Firefighters. The Cookout, it is really an alliance that I'm loving. These 4 players, not only are they really smart, I think they're really good competitors. They have a lot of connections around the house already that they're forming just kind of naturally. I really think this could be a very strong, powerful alliance going forward. And look, it's not really my place to even talk about the significance culturally of having that kind of alliance in the game, because it's the first time we've ever seen an alliance that all the members look the way they do. For me personally, just from the gameplay standpoint, just from a fan of the game, I think this could be a really strong alliance, and I'm excited to see how they do going forward. Now, we also have the Firefighters, because like I said, Derek X has become pretty much the big target, but I don't know if a lot of people want Derek X to leave necessarily. So we'll see how that really goes. So the Firefighters here, you have Kyland, you have Derek X, Claire, and Travis. They're the Firefighters because they're trying to put out the fires that Frenchie is starting. So I really like that name as well. We'll see how long this one lasts and how well they're able to do that of keeping Derek X safe this week. Now, one of the more interesting things with the whole Frenchie scenario was after he had these meetings with everybody, at one point he was like, all right, let's nip this in the bud, right? Let's squash this, now and get to the bottom of this. So he goes like on a hunt through the house looking for Derek X. And eventually he finds him in the storage room, brings him up to the HOH. We don't get to see the conversation. We don't get to see it. They cut the feeds at that point, and it was really kind of a bummer. Twitter was going crazy saying, give us the feeds. We want the feeds. But they wouldn't show it to us. What we did see, though, was the aftermath when the firefighters were formed, and Derek X kind of said he really tried to bait me, right? He was like, I know about your alliance. I even know about the name of the alliance, which, as far as I know, they didn't really actually have a name yet for kind of the 3-man, 4-man alliance of all the guys, right? It just kind of was a thing, right? It was more of like, hey, you know, we got each other's back kind of a thing, more than an official, like, named alliance yet. So really, it was just kind of Frenchie kind of trying to bait him in that as well. Tiffany really has been talking to Derek X as well, trying to kind of, you know, keep in touch with him, and she's been doing a really good job of moving around the house and talking to everybody as well. So it's going to be interesting to see today what happens with the nominations, who Frenchie actually ends up targeting. Will it be Derek X? Will they be able to move the target off of him? If it does move off of him, who's going to get nominated? It's really going to be interesting to see how this all goes. But once again, that's kind of your recap of what happened yesterday, what's going on with some of the alliances, and we'll find out more about what happens after nominations. So once again, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for more Big Brother videos. I'll be updating you on all the latest stuff when things happen on the live feeds. Also, if you want, you can follow me over on Twitter at Ori Streams, and you can also follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ori Streams, where a lot of times I'm playing games with some friends. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.